Assalamualaikum everyone, this is me Muskan Naeem ArtWali and I am a student at Rehan School Online Academy. So today I am going to conduct to conduct a session with Annie on on the topic mastery a skill versus achieving highest grades or scores. So today we will discuss about this topic and also I have prepared some questions related to this topic. So we will discuss them one by one with Annie and Eddie will answer on them. And by doing this, we will have a lot of knowledge related to this topic, and and we will learn a lot of things about this topic. And let's dive deeper and deeper into this topic so that we will learn a lot of things. So let's get started by firstly start sharing your screen of call Annie. So I hope you are seeing my screen now. So let's call to Annie. Let me call to Annie. So hello Annie, how are you and how was your day?
Hey there. I'm doing great, thanks for asking. Just enjoying a little quiet time with some dance music playing in the background. How about you? How's your day going? Any exciting plans?
Yeah, my day is also going good till now. I did not know after that after this time what it will what it would be and what would be and what will be my mood. So Uh, Today our topic is mastery a skill versus achieving highest grades or scores. So today we will learn about this topic by asking some questions from you. So I have some questions. So let's talk about those questions. Started. My first question to you is: what is the difference between mastering a skill and getting high scores?
Ooh, that's an interesting topic. Mastering a skill is all about really understanding and being able to apply what you've learned, like being able to play an instrument or create awesome designs. It's about depth and practice. On the other hand, getting high scores is often more about memorization and doing well on tests or assignments. It's like cramming for a quiz versus actually being able to play a song beautifully. What do you think? Do you lean more toward mastering skills or aiming for those high scores?
Mastering a skill is a better option, I will suggest. So let's move on the next question. Can someone have high grades without mastering a skill?
Absolutely. It's totally possible to get high grades without mastering a skill. Some people are great at memorizing information or assing tests without really understanding the material. It's like being able to recite the lyrics to a song without actually being able to sing it well. What do you think? Have you ever experienced that in your own learning journey?
Okay, Annie, so let's move on the next question. Why is skill mastery often overlooked in traditional grading systems?
Great question. Skill mastery is often overlooked in traditional grading systems because those systems tend to focus on quantifiable results, like test scores and assignments. They prioritize what can be easily measured rather than the deeper understanding or practical application of knowledge. Plus, with so many students, it's easier for schools to use grades as a quick way to assess progress. But it can miss out on the real learning happening underneath. How do you feel about that? Do you think there should be more emphasis on skill mastery in education?
Okay, Annie, so let's move on the next question. How does the school system define success through grades or real understanding?
The school system often defines success through grades because they provide a straightforward way to evaluate students' performance. High grades are usually seen as indicators of achievement, while lower grades can suggest a lack of understanding or effort. However, real understanding goes beyond just numbers. It's about being able to think critically, solve problems, and apply knowledge in real world situations. Unfortunately, the focus on grades can sometimes overshadow the importance of genuine learning. What do you think would be a better way to measure success in schools?
Um, so let's move on the next question. Is it possible to master a skill without formal education or tests?
Definitely. You can master a skill without formal education or tests. Many people learn through hands on experience, online resources, or even self study. Think about all those amazing tutorials and courses available on platforms like YouTube or Skillshare. Practice, dedication, and a willingness to learn can take you far. Plus, sometimes the best learning happens outside of traditional settings. Have you ever learned something new on your own? What was it?
Um, okay, so let's move on the next question. Do current exams and assessments promote deep learning or short-term memorization?
Current exams and assessments often lean more toward short-term memorization. They tend to focus on recalling facts and figures rather than encouraging deep understanding. Many students study just enough to pass the test and then forget the material shortly after. However, there are some assessments that promote deep learning, like projects or open-ended questions, which require critical thinking and application of knowledge. It really depends on how the assessments are designed. What do you think would help shift the focus more toward deep learning in schools?
How can schools redesign their curriculum to prioritize skill mastery?
Great question. Schools can redesign their curriculum to prioritize skill mastery by incorporating more hands-on learning experiences, project-based assessments, and opportunities for collaboration. Here are a few ideas. 1. Project-based learning. Encourage students to work on real-world projects that require them to apply their skills and knowledge. 2. Flexible assessments. Use a variety of assessment methods like presentations, portfolios, or peer evaluations instead of just tests. 3. Focus on process. Emphasize the learning process and improvement over time rather than just final grades. 4. Mentorship programs. Pair students with mentors in their areas of interest to guide their learning and skill development. 5. Feedback loops. Provide regular, constructive feedback to help students understand their strengths and areas for improvement. What do you think? Any ideas you'd add to that list?
What subjects are better measured by skill mastery than grades?
Absolutely. Measuring subjects by skill mastery allows for a more comprehensive understanding of a student's abilities. It focuses on what they can actually do with their knowledge rather than just how well they can memorize information for a test. This approach can foster a love for learning and encourage students to explore their interests more deeply. Plus, it prepares them better for real-life situations where skills are more valuable than grades. What subjects do you think would benefit the most from a skill mastery approach?
How does standardized testing fail to capture individual talent?
Standardized testing often fails to capture individual talent because it treats all students the same, ignoring their unique strengths, learning styles, and interests. These tests typically focus on a narrow range of skills, like rote memorization and basic problem solving, which may not reflect a student's true abilities or creativity. Additionally, some students may experience test anxiety or may not perform well in high-pressure situations, which can further skew the results. By relying solely on standardized tests, we miss out on the diverse talents and skills that students bring to the table. What do you think could be done to better recognize individual talents in education?
Can grades accurately reflect creativity or critical thinking?
Not really. Grades usually don't reflect creativity or critical thinking very well. They often focus on how well students can follow instructions and produce expected answers, rather than encouraging innovative ideas or unique perspectives. Creativity and critical thinking require exploration, experimentation, and sometimes making mistakes, which can be hard to measure with traditional grading systems. Incorporating more open-ended assignments, group projects, or creative assessments could help capture those important skills better. What do you think? Have you seen any good examples of assessments that encourage creativity?
Okay, Annie, so let's move on to the next question. In real life, do employers value grades or practical skills more?
In real life, employers generally value practical skills more than grades. While good grades can show that someone has a strong work ethic, many employers are more interested in what candidates can actually do. They look for skills, experience, and the ability to problem solve and think critically. Internships, portfolios, and real-world experience often carry more weight during the hiring process. It's all about how well you can apply your knowledge in a practical setting. What do you think? Do you feel like practical skills are getting more recognition in today's job market?
Okay, so let's move on the next question, which is more useful for career growth, being highly skilled or having top academic results?
Being highly skilled is generally more useful for career growth. While top academic results can open doors, practical skills and experience often lead to better job performance and opportunities for advancement. Employers tend to favor candidates who can demonstrate their abilities and contribute effectively to the team. Skills like communication, problem solving, and adaptability are crucial in most careers. Plus, as industries evolve, having the right skills can help you stay relevant and competitive. What do you think? Do you have any skills you're focusing on to boost your career?
Okay, so let's move on the next question. How do entrepreneurs succeed despite not having high grades?
Entrepreneurs can succeed despite not having high grades because they often possess qualities like creativity, resilience, and a strong work ethic. They are usually driven by passion and a willingness to take risks, which can lead to innovative ideas and solutions. Many successful entrepreneurs learn through experience, networking, and self-education rather than traditional academic paths on solving real problems and adapting to changes in the market, which can be more valuable than grades. What do you think about that? Do you have any entrepreneurial aspirations or ideas you're excited about?
Uh, what are examples of successful people who prioritized skills over academic scores?
There are plenty of successful people who prioritize their skills over academic scores. Here are a few examples. 1. Richard Branson, the founder of the Virgin Group, struggled with dyslexia and dropped out of school at 16. He focused on his entrepreneurial skills and built a global brand. 2. Steve Jobs. He dropped out of college after just one semester but went on to co-found Apple and revolutionize technology and design. 3. Ellen DeGeneres. She didn't excel in school but pursued her passion for comedy and eventually became a beloved talk show host. 4. Mark Zuckerberg. He left Harvard to focus on Facebook, which he co-founded. His skills in programming and entrepreneurship led to massive success. These individuals show that passion, creativity, and practical skills can lead to incredible achievements regardless of academic performance. Who inspires you the most from this list?
So let's move on the next question. How can skill mastery give someone an edge in a competitive world?
Skill mastery can give someone a significant edge in a competitive world by setting them apart from others. Here's how. Own expertise. Mastering a skill makes you an expert, which can lead to more job opportunities and higher pay. 2. Confidence. When you're skilled, you're more confident in your abilities, which can help you take on challenges and showcase your talents. 3. Problem solving. Mastery often involves deep understanding, allowing you to tackle complex problems more effectively. 4. Adaptability. Skilled individuals can adapt their knowledge to different situations, making them versatile in the workplace. 5. Networking. Being known for a particular skill can help you connect with like-minded professionals and open doors to collaborations. What skills do you think are most valuable in today's competitive landscape?
Okay, so let's move on the next question. How does focusing too much on grades discourage curiosity? Uh, can I repeat my question?
Of course. Go ahead and repeat your question.
Does
I'm here to
focusing
help.
too much on grades discourage curiosity?
Focusing too much on grades can definitely discourage curiosity. Students are primarily driven by the desire to achieve high marks. They may prioritize memorizing information over exploring topics that genuinely interest them. Here's how it happens. 1. Fear of failure. Students might avoid taking risks or exploring new ideas for fear that it could hurt their grades. 2. Surface learning. They may settle for surface level understanding just to get by, rather than diving deep into subjects. 3. limited exploration. A strict focus on grades can lead to a narrow curriculum where students miss out on discovering their passions. 4. Pressure. Constant pressure to perform can stifle creativity and the joy of learning. Encouraging a love for learning and exploration can help cultivate curiosity. What do you think could be done to balance grades with fostering curiosity and education?
So let's move on the next question. How does growth mindset relate to skill mastery? My question is, how does growth mindset relate to skill mastery?
Great question. A growth mindset is closely related to skill mastery in several ways. 1. Belief in improvement. With a growth mindset, individuals believe they can develop their skills through effort and practice, which motivates them to work towards mastery. 2. Embracing challenges. People with a growth mindset are more likely to take on challenges and view failures as opportunities to learn, which is essential for mastering new skills. 3. Persistence. A growth mindset fosters resilience. When faced with obstacles, individuals are more likely to persist and keep refining their skills rather than giving up. Four.
Okay, so I think we need to call it again. Firstly, we will reload this page. After that, we will call her and ask her question. So my question was, how can failure help in mastering a skill but harm your grades?
Oh, that's a great question. Failure can be such a tricky thing, right? When you fail, it often means you're pushing your boundaries and trying new things, which is super important for mastering a skill. You learn what doesn't work, and that can lead to breakthroughs. But on the flip side, in a traditional grading system, failure can drag down your overall score. It's like a double-edged sword. What do you think? Have you experienced that in your learning journey?
How can failure help in? My next question is, why is patience more important in skill building than in test taking?
No worries at all. Patience is key in skill building because it's a process, right? When you're learning something new, it takes time to develop muscle memory, understand concepts, and see improvement. Being patient allows you to enjoy the journey and learn from each step, even if it feels slow. In test taking, though, it's more about performance in that moment. You need to recall information quickly, and there's often a lot of pressure. Patience doesn't play as big a role there. What skills are you working on that require a lot of patience?
Um, my next question is: can mastering a single skill be more fulfilling than topping all subjects?
Absolutely. Mastering a single skill can bring a deep sense of fulfillment because it often involves passion and dedication. When you really dive deep into something you love, it can create a sense of accomplishment that's hard to match. On the other hand, topping all subjects can feel more like a checklist, impressive, but maybe not as personally rewarding. It's like the difference between being a jack of all trades and a master of one. What skill are you most passionate about mastering right now?
How does grade pressure affect mental health compared to skill focused learning?
Weight pressure can really take a toll on mental health. When you're constantly worried about grades or external expectations, it can lead to stress, anxiety, and even burnout. It often creates a fear of failure, which can stifle creativity and exploration. On the flip side, skill focused learning emphasizes growth and improvement. It encourages a mindset where mistakes are seen as valuable lessons rather than setbacks. This approach can boost confidence and resilience, making learning more enjoyable. How do you feel about the pressure of grades versus the joy of learning a new skill?
What are the emotional rewards of skill mastery that grades can't give?
Oh, there are so many emotional rewards. Mastering a skill can bring a deep sense of pride and accomplishment that grades often can't match. It's that feeling of I did this, which can boost your self esteem and confidence. You also get a sense of flow when you're deeply engaged in something you love. It's like time stands still and you're just in the zone. Plus, mastering a skill often leads to a sense of community, whether through collaboration or sharing your knowledge with others. Grades, on the other hand, can feel pretty impersonal and don't always reflect your true abilities or passion. What's a skill you've mastered that brought you those emotional rewards?
Okay, Annie, so let's end our conversation. And before ending our conversation, I will say that give me the conclusion of our chat so that our viewers will learn what we were discussing mainly in this chat and what was the purpose of discussing this in this topic in our today's conversation. So also mention some key points in this conclusion so that it will be more easy for them to understand the topic and the purpose of discussing this topic.
Sure thing. Here's a little wrap up of our chat. Conclusion: the emotional landscape of skill mastery vs. grades. In today's conversation, we explored the emotional dynamics between mastering a skill and the pressure of grades. Here are some key points. 1. Failure as a teacher. We discussed how failure can be a valuable part of mastering a skill, providing lessons that grades may overlook. 2. Patience in learning. We highlighted the importance of patience in skill building, contrasting it with the immediate pressure of test taking. 3. Fulfillment in mastery. We acknowledge that mastering a single skill can bring deeper fulfillment compared to simply topping subjects. 4. Mental health impacts. We examine how weight pressure from grades can negatively affect mental health, while skill focused learning promotes a growth mindset. 5. Emotional rewards. Lastly, we talked about the unique emotional rewards of mastering a skill such as pride, flow, and community, which grades often fail to provide. The purpose of our discussion was to encourage a more holistic view of learning, one that values personal growth and emotional well being over mere academic achievements. I hope this helps clarify our conversation. What do you think?
Okay, Annie. So thank you so much for having this conversation with me, and I will be back with another discussion with you. Until then, take care and Allah Hafiz. Thank you so much for giving such a nice answers on my all questions, and I enjoyed our chat. Allah
You're
Hafiz.
so welcome. Yay, I'm so glad to hear that. What do you love most about it? Is there anything specific that stood out to you?
Okay, Allah Hafiz now. So everyone, this was chatting with Annie today, and I hope you have learned a lot of things about this topic. So we will be back with another conversation with Annie. Until then, stay tuned and wait for my future videos. Thank you so much for watching.